Hi there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be talking about iPhone 14 and 14 Pro Max. And the time has come. Apple has just announced the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus. Along with them come the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max, two models that come with many changes from the previous generation. Goodbye to the notch and the promise of having the most powerful and efficient processor on the market. These are all the features and technical specifications of the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max, two models that break records in both specifications and price, and these two phones are the most expensive ever marketed by Apple. Let's see what they hide. The rumors let it drop, and it is confirmed. The iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are the first iPhones since the iPhone X to say goodbye to the notch. They replace it with a slightly less intrusive system, which includes Face ID. This is one of the key points in these iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, as it makes functional sense. This new system interacts with the system, as opposed to the traditional notch. Apple calls it Dynamic Island, acting as a sort of notification LED that changes its length depending on the content that is coming to us. It will not only work with native applications, but is open to third-party apps so that any application can interact with the new island. The rest of the design is similar to what we saw in the last generation: stainless steel, frosted glass on the back, and a huge camera module. There is hardly any difference in this aspect from what was seen in the previous generation models. The display repeats with 6.1 and 6.7 inches, Full HD+, with a 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate. The maximum brightness rises to 2000 nits, a very high figure. For the first time in the history of the iPhone, always-on display has arrived. Unlike Android, it is not a black screen. It will be a dimming of the content displayed on the lock screen. We will be able to configure the widgets we want on the lock screen. Of course, these new iPhones premiere the new Apple A16 Bionic, a 4nm processor. It promises to be 20% more efficient than the A15 Bionic, as well as notably more powerful. This SoC is composed of a CPU with 6 cores, a new ISP, and a GPU with 50% more bandwidth. The iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max debut, for the first time, a 48-megapixel camera sensor with pixel binning. It is 65% larger than last year's, with OIS integrated into the sensor. Betting on this combination of 4 pixels in one to shoot at 12 megapixels is something already seen in Android, although Apple promises to rely on its ISP to make more sense. They promise twice the brightness on all sensors in low light conditions. Apple seems to rely on the sharpness of its iPhones, to the point that the new iPhone 14 Pro is capable of shooting in 2x digitally and natively, without us having to zoom in manually. If we want to go further, the telephoto is still 3x. ProRAW remains a feature unique to these iPhones. As expected, we can shoot in 48-megapixel mode. The cinematic mode can finally record in 4K. The price increase seemed inevitable, and it is substantial for both models. They will be available for pre-order from September 7th, and will start arriving on September 16th. iPhone 14 Pro 128GB. $999. iPhone 14 Pro 256GB, $1,099. iPhone 14 Pro 512GB, $1,299. iPhone 14 Pro 1TB, $1,499. iPhone 14 Pro Max 128GB, $1,099. iPhone 14 Pro Max 256GB, $1,199. iPhone 14 Pro Max 512GB, $1,399. and iPhone 14 Pro Max 1TB, $1,599. Here ends our video on iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. We hope you find it very useful. If you have any suggestion, kindly share with us in the comments section. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Please click on the notification bell in front of the subscribe button to turn on notification for this channel, so as to notify you when I post new video. Thank you for watching.